All right. Quick mic check. 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Okay, mic seems to be working. All right. What I'm about to cover in this video is some information about the mini project. Um, Basically, try to answer some questions and hopefully give y'all some something you can use to answer this stuff. Let's see here. So let's copy some things. All right. So you should have the sheet in front of you. I'm not gonna copy the stuff down. Not again anyway. So I'll just start with a blank slide. All right. From beginning. All right. Beginning. Okay. All right. So basically, for the first question, um, and actually, I guess I probably should have numbered this a little better. Let's see, 3, 4, 2, 5. Okay, 5. Cost $50. All right, sorry, I had to sort my pages out, staple and stuff. All right, so this okay, so this is for our mini project. So the first thing we're asked is basically an experiment. All right. So basically, in this part, I'm asking you to find the thickness of a single sheet of paper. So basically, you can think of what if you have marbles in a bag. Okay. Okay. Not worry about how many. Let's just say I have 80 marbles. Ugh. You have 80 marbles in a bag, and the bag weighs 5 pounds. Of course, we're not talking about weight yet in the problem we're given, but the logic is the same here. So if we have 80 marbles, and those 80 marbles weigh 5 pounds, how much? And we're assuming they're all identical. So if they're all identical, how much? Ugh, 1. I know how much does one marble weigh. So basically, you got 80 marbles in a bag. Yep, 80 marbles in a bag. The bag of marbles weighs 5 pounds. You want to know how much one marble weighs. So I don't know the weight. That's what I'm looking for. So basically, we're setting up a proportion. So marbles divided by marbles, that cancels. So basically, we end up with 80x equals 5 pounds. So the marbles, let's see here, 80 divided by 5. Oh, excuse me, 5 divided by 80. Yeah, so basically they weigh 0.0625 pounds each. So basically I took an entire bag. I knew how much the whole bag weighed, and based on that, if I know how many there are, I can figure out how much each of them weighs. So we can do the same thing with a pack of paper and the thickness of it. So we have this pack of paper. Okay. All right. So basically you have a bunch of sheets of paper. Okay, and let's just say we have 500 sheets. That's what they usually come in, sheets of packs of 500. But we'll just change that. We'll just say it comes. Let's just say we got some oddball pack of paper that came with 300 sheets. Actually, no, I'll go with 500. 500. Okay, so we'll say this is 500 sheets. Okay, if you got 500 sheets, well, I can't measure a single sheet of paper. A single sheet of paper, if I put a ruler next to it, it's just not going to work. Like my eyes are not going to be able to measure that. But if I take this stack of pages, then if I put a ruler next to it, I should be able to get a measurement from here to here. That's a lot easier to get than trying to look at how thin one sheet of paper is directly. Okay, so let's just say this length was 3 centimeters. This I pulled out of thin air. Because basically your answers will vary. This is probably not correct again, but I'm not gonna give you the exact measurement. So I'm just saying that what if I measured this and it was 3 centimeters, then basically that means that uh basically that's the thickness of 500 sheets. So basically this you can set up the same way that we set this up over here. Basically you got 500 sheets. Is 3 centimeters. Yep. Dang it. It's 3 centimeters, and I want to know how much one sheet, how thick that is, how thick one sheet is, basically. And you guys can solve that from there. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. But basically, that's all there is to this. The only thing is just grabbing a ruler and measuring a stack of papers. All right. Let's see here. What else is there? Okay, in number 1, you actually calculate the thickness of 10,000 sheets. Now, 10,000 sheets of paper, I don't recommend you going out and buying 10,000 sheets of copy paper, because you're probably going to be spending like $200 or $300 or more buying that much copy paper. That's basically how many reams. I won't say $200 or $300, but you'll actually, let's see here. That would be 500 a pack times 2. It's 1,000 every 2 packs. So that'd be 20 packs of 20 reams of paper, which is probably going to be that's going to be expensive nonetheless. however much it is, it's not going to be cheap. So long story short, don't go out and buy 10,000 sheets of paper and measure them just so you can get done. What I want you to do is, okay, you know the thickness of one sheet of paper from this, so take that answer and multiply it. Yeah, basically, you just take the thickness of one sheet of paper and multiply it by 10,000. So that's all you need to do. Basically, just a one-step thing. All right, so for this one, you want to know the volume. All right, so you want to know the volume of 1,000 sheets. Well, we don't know anything about here. We took the thickness of each sheet, multiplied by 1,000 to get 1,000, basically. But here we don't know the thickness of one sheet yet, and we don't need to calculate that. Basically, let's see here, and this is actually going to be in centimeters when you get your final answer. As I said on the sheet, this, since it's three-dimensional volume, it's going to be centimeters cubed. So basically, and of course area is going to be squared. So basically, we have, we want to know the volume of 1,000 sheets. Well, we know, so let's look at our stack of papers that we have. So right now, we know, and this is going to be a pretty big stack to be 10,000 sheets. Okay. So we know that this stack of papers we found the thickness from part 2, or part 1, I'm sorry. All right. So we found how thick that is. So how do you get volume? Well, volume from our sheet is length times width times height. So we have our length is given to us, and I literally just looked at a pack of paper and wrote this down. But basically, your length was 21.6 centimeters. Your width was 270. Well, actually, I got that backwards. Let's see. Not that it matters, but it absolutely does not matter because this is just multiplication, and really length and width can be used either way. But I'm just going to be consistent with how we're used to orienting paper. But it could be placed either way, I guess, because we do print landscape pages. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and write it the way we're used to and call it alongside the length. So your length was 27.9 centimeters. Your width was 21.6 centimeters. And your height from part 1. And that's going to be in centimeters. So you have centimeters times centimeters times centimeters gives you centimeters cubed, which is the units that we should have, because again, volume is three-dimensional. So power is 3. All right. So here you want to know the mass of So we want to know the mass of 10,000 sheets of paper and based on the information we're given, that I didn't write it on the sheet, but I didn't really have to for any of them. But I meant to write the unit. But the units for this in part 3 should be grams. So basically, the mass, which is in grams, that's just going to be equal to your density, which is in grams per centimeter cubed, times your volume, which is in centimeters cubed. So this is given, and I think it was, let me see, what did I have on here? So density. Oh yeah, rho equals 0.74 grams per centimeter cubed, and this is an actual value. It's actually true. That's the thickness of that's the density of paper, copy paper. This volume is from part 2, because we got the volume of 1,000 sheets. We're getting the mass of 1,000 sheets. We need to use the volume of 1,000 sheets to get that. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Basically, you're just multiplying the density times the volume, and you're just going to get some number in grams, basically. So let's see here. So 2, 3. Okay, so that's all for questions 1 through 3. Now question 4 doesn't use any of that. This question 4 is more of a exercise, I guess. It's a little bit tricky. I'm gonna work. Let's see. This is 2, 3. It's gonna work one of these. Okay, yeah. For question 4, I'll work part 1, and you guys can work part 2. So if you get part 1 wrong, then I don't have any mercy on you, because I'm about to work it out completely. 4. All right. So basically, we're in the same office. We want to replace our printer. So we got 2 printers. We got an inkjet and a laser printer, and we want to choose which one to buy. So basically, one of them, the inkjet. So this is let's see the information given. 120 pages per cartridge set. This is just part 1. I'll let you guys do part 2 because it works exactly the same. Alright, so 120 pages per cartridge set. So then, what other information do we have? Okay, costs. So for the printer itself, so basically the printer itself costs $100. Basically, you go to the store, you buy a printer for $100, and it includes ink with the printer. Usually they try to half fill the ink cartridge in the store, but I'm not going to include that in this problem because that'd make it way too complicated. But basically, we're just going to assume that manufacturers are customer friendly, and they included a full pack of ink for us. And I gotta pause this video for a moment. Just a moment. Desktop. I'll pause this thing. We got to go here. How do I get there? I'll pause this video for a moment. Darn. I'll pause this thing. Okay, I guess I didn't want to do this, but I guess I'll have to. Right. Too much stuff open. Pause. Okay, back to the video from current slide. Okay. Alright, so basically you buy ink and it comes with a full set of we found some nice manufacturer that includes a full set of ink cartridges that actually print the full amount. So let's see here. Yeah. All right. Done that. Oh, here I am. Okay. And the ink, when you do run out of ink, you have to buy new cartridges. So the set of cartridges. I think I did inkjet first. Yeah, inkjet. Okay. The set of cartridges cost $50. All right. So basically, let's go ahead and before we even worry about getting an exact graph for the equation, let's just go ahead and draw some little preliminary sketch of this thing. So you know this is your x, y, and in this case, x equals number of pages and y equals total cost. All right, so this is pages just to keep up with it, and this is money. All right, so basically here we're at 0. So this is basically when we walk into the computer store or whatever store we go to and buy the computer, we're gonna spend $100 before we print one single page. Basically, we haven't printed anything at the store. We're just buying the printer, so we automatically gonna spend $100. Now we're not gonna make money off the printer. We're definitely gonna be spending more and more money as we use the printer. So basically, we know we're gonna have some line with a positive slope, basically. Okay. Not worrying about exactly what the slope is, but we know that we're going to end up spending more and more and more and more money. All right. So we have, what other information do we have? So we have a point. So what we need, remember we're going to end up with y equals mx plus b. All right. So we have b. That's right here. So basically this is the point. So b, we already know that's 100. So that means we have the point 0, 100. So we already have 1 point. We need another point to get a line, and of course to get this slope. So basically, we know that when we get to $120, or excuse me, 120 pages, we're going to have to spend another $50. Every time we get to 120 pages, we started off spending $100. When we get here, we're going to have to spend another $50. And we use another 50 pages, we're going to have to spend another $50. So every time we get there, we're going to have to spend another $50 basically. So basically what we end up with, so now we got another point. Because like we said, a set of cartridges costs $50. So we're not doing, and this axis is cartridge, it's costs. It's not number of sets of cartridges. So a set of cartridges costs $50. So that's going to increase us by $50. So our other point that we have is 120 pages and $50. So now we can get our slope. M equals, so it's going to be, sorry, no, that's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Corner options. That shouldn't be 50. What this actually be, and hopefully some of you noticed this, corner options. I wrote that in the notes I have, but I just missed it. Alright, so basically we have, so this value is actually 100 plus 50, because we don't get to start over. We spent $100, now we're spending another 50 on top of that. So this is actually, from here to here, that's $150 total, basically. So you got to be careful with that. But either way, you know that your line should have a positive slope. Alright, and I'm going to pause the video for just a moment. Let's see. Again. Alright. And back to PowerPoint. And current slide. Alright. So basically, options. Yeah, so basically we have, so remember this is XY. Our points are always going to be X, Y. So number of pages, cost. Okay, so we basically have 100 minus, so we can do 150 minus 100 over 120 minus 0, and that's going to give me 50 over 120, which is just going to be factoring out of 10. We just get 5 over 12. So for our first line, your cost is going to be 5 over 12 times the number of pages plus the how much it cost me to buy the printer. Okay, and we can check this. So let's see here. We have 0 pages. Gives you, if I plug in 0, I'm going to get $100. That's the cost of the printer. That makes sense. If I go to 120 pages, which is time for me to buy another cartridge, that's going to be 5 over 120, 5 over 12 times 120 plus 100. We're just checking that this makes sense. Equals, that's 12. So this is going to be 10 equals 50 plus 100. Alright, so $150 with a cartridge. So a printer plus a cartridge is $150. So this is basically this. Let me erase this. Alright, so this is your answer. And that's just for the inkjet. So that's your actual answer. So I have worked this entire part for you. I've worked part 1 for you. It's up to you to work part 2. I do want you to submit part 1 also. So if you need to just go ahead and work it out and copy what I did and follow along. But also, yeah, so that's just for your inkjet basically. So that's what you should get. Let's see here. So all right, so you need to do part 2, part 3. You're basically going to plot the equations from plot the 2 equations from 1 and 2 on the same graph. So I left you a grid on your sheet, but basically you got a y-axis and your x-axis, and basically I am not about to graph the exact equation. I'm just giving you an idea of what it's going to look like. So let's just say this is graph line printer A. Doesn't matter which one. And let's just say this is printer B. I can draw that a little better. Let me draw this a little better. Okay, so let's be a little bit more careful. So basically, just say, okay, this is, make them a little steeper so you can actually see the difference. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So this is drawing a point to the same line. Alright, so we have printer A and printer B. And so basically that's all you're asked to do for part 3. You're going to find the graph from one part, find the graph from the other part, and just plot the 2 on the same graph. That's all I'm asking you to do for this part. So if you've done part which you already have part 1, so all you got to do is do part 2 and then graph the 2 graphs. Basically is all you need to do. Now for part 3, for part 4, I'm sorry. For part 4, it asks ugh, Now, without taking into account other stuff like electrical cost of running the thing, we're not worried about all of that right now. All we're worried about is basically how much the ink costs and basically just how much the ink and printer cost together. So basically, we want to know up to what number of pages would the inkjet be more cost efficient. So let's just say, so let's go back here. Let's just say this is the we'll just call this the inkjet, and we'll just say this one is the laser printer. Okay, so this one's the inkjet, this one's the laser printer. So basically, well, that's kind of in my way. One options, eraser, put this out of the way. I'd erase that because it was in the way. And we'll just say this is the inkjet. Alright, so we got a laser printer and an inkjet. Okay, so I did that backwards. And the reason I did it backwards because I'm not actually drawing the exact line. I kind of got this arbitrarily written here, but I want to be consistent with what is actually true, and I just erased that by accident. Corner options. All right, so basically we'll say the one that's on the bottom last should be the laser printer, and this should be the inkjet. Yeah. All right, and let me draw my axis back over here. I'll just do it in purple this time. So switching colors. All right, so we got an inkjet and we got a laser printer. So basically, if we look here, let's just say they're going to cross at a point. Okay. We know how to find where two lines cross. Okay, so basically that's what we're looking for. Is basically we're going to have an equation for the inkjet, y equals m1x plus b1, and we're going to have another equation equals m2x plus b2. So one's going to be for the inkjet, and one's going to be for the laser printer. And you're looking for the solution. And in this case, we're looking for what number of pages. So we want the x value. You're going to have to find both to be able to solve it, but the x value is what we're interested in. Okay, so let's just say that I find so let's just say we solve and we get y equals and let's just say we get y equals 120, we'll say. Well, actually, yeah, x equals, let's just say we solve and we get x equals 1000. Okay. So basically, if that's the case, they cross at 1000. That's what that means. And of course, there's going to be a y that corresponds with that. not going to worry about the value of that, but you're going to get some y at 1000 basically. So y I'm not worried about what the value of y is right now, basically, because I don't even actually have two equations. I just have one equation, and I'm just sort of telling you how to do it because I don't actually have numbers yet. So, but basically, this is what you're going to have. So let's just say you get 1000. Okay, that's 1000 pages. Okay, so basically, if you look at these graphs, it's desirable to be on the bottom graph. So here, if you're less than 1000, then this is better. Then this is the inkjet. If you're over here, this one's better because it's cheaper. So this one's better. So basically, if you're less than 1000, more than 1000, so basically, if you're less than 1000, is if you're only going to print 1000 pages in the entire lifetime of this printer, this one's better. The more likely scenario is you're going to print a lot more than 1000 pages in the lifetime of this printer. So the LaserJet's going to be better if you print more than 1000 pages. And if you print exactly 1000 pages, it doesn't matter which one you get because it's going to cost you exactly the same. Um, and I realize that you can't buy a fraction of a cartridge, but so that might be a little bit unrealistic about this problem. But this is just how I want you to work it. So the value. Yeah, but basically your answer here would be your x value. So that would be your answer there. Okay, so if you actually solve this, and in this case, this one was, in this case, this one I already gave you. That one is right here. Y equals 5 over 12x plus 100. This one you need to calculate. You need to get this one, and that's so this was from part 1. This one from part 2. Okay, so you get that from part 1. That's the answer from part 2, and you just solve the equation, the system of equations, basically. And then the next thing, what else do we ask? So if you number the last part, it says if you use for 24 months, which is better buy? And I said based on your plot, but really, which it is, but you really don't even need to look at the plot. You really can just look at this value. And well, I guess you can. I guess you do need to look at the plot. Yeah. So look at this value and look at your plot. So basically, let's just say, so in 24 months, how many pages in 24 months? So 24 months, that's going to be 1,000, 10,000 pages per month times number of months. That's going to be, I think, 24, 4 zeros. Okay, so let's compare that to the 1000 we got for this value, because this is where they cross. So this is definitely this is much greater than this. And I guess we haven't seen this symbol before, so I'll just put it as greater than. But the point is that is definitely more than 1000. So basically, after 24 months, we're going to be on this side. So basically, if we're on this side of the graph, the better deal is going to be whichever one this is. Or this may not necessarily be the laser, or yeah, so it's going to be this one. Now, if we calculated and got something else, then if we say had 500 pages, for 500 pages, it'd be better to just buy an inkjet. But if you're printing a lot of pages, which is what businesses do, which is why they buy these expensive printers, because they're no more cost efficient. All right, so I guess that's all there is to this. So hopefully I'll have enough info and ammunition to solve this. And that's all I have for this. I'm gonna have a few more videos hopefully this weekend to send to y'all. Hoping to get some more out today, but we'll see. All right, and that's all.